Today on The Boot Guy, we are looking at the Wedgestone, Duluth Trading's latest addition to their house brand of boots. Fellas, yes, thank you so much for all the emails. Thank you so much for sending me beer, for hitting that PayPal button, and thank you for requesting this thing to get this thing on the channel. Because most of the time, I don't really look at house brands of boots. When it comes to private label stuff, I'm really not that interested in it because most of the time it's pretty bad. This time, nah. Duluth Trading has done their homework. They have pulled from the best stuff on the market and thrown it into one boot. Though it does look a little hodgepodge and it does look a little cheap because of just the way they put the materials together with colors, not really doing design work, just doing best parts work. It's a hell of a great boot. So the first place we're going to start with this sole because they're pushing this sole like this is the cat's pajamas. It has a Vibram sole, a real Vibram sole. And it is a skim sole, so it means that this 1/8 inch of Vibram material, this rugged, high abrasion Vibram material is attached to crepe. And that crepe material, as we know, is softer material. So that's what's going to make the boot so comfortable. And the first time you put it on your foot, you're going to feel that bounce. It's not primarily coming from the insole, though it has a halfway decent insole. It's coming from that midsole, that crepe material. And the traction you feel comes from the Vibram sole because that's the better material that's on the bottom. The part that's touching the ground all day long, they put that on the bottom. Instead of it being one piece, it's multiple pieces put together, and it's a hell of a great idea. The other great idea is they made the Wedgestone a fully welted boot. So if you really want to, you can have these things resold, and I understand why, because they put a lot of time and energy into putting this thing together for all the different parts and pieces. Yeah, a guy breaks his boot in, he gets used to the way it fits, and he wants to get a second pair of soles on there, usually with their other boots. I can't remember, the Grindstone and whatnot, all those boots that are direct attach construction. Here we have a Goodyear welt, and here we can put a new sole on it. Now it just doesn't end with that. We have one more thing to cover on this sole, and it seems to be some sort of proprietary material that is specific to Duluth Trading, and it's called Spike. It is a puncture resistant material that you can clearly see in the layers of the sole. It is a very bone white piece of, feels like plastic, some sort of high density polymer that's going to prevent nails and screws from penetrating the boot on indirect impact. I'm sure if you jump down on a really thick nail, full weight, second rung of the ladder coming right down on it, it's going right through. But anything else, walking, just taking a basic step, the Spike material is going to force the nail to go in a different direction. All right, so the next thing we have to talk about is the rubberized toe and the rubberized heel. Now, that's one of those things where I feel like they kind of dropped the ball aesthetically because it's a really ugly material. As far as materials like this go, this is pretty damn ugly. But it is really thick and a really high abrasion resistant rubber. So the trade-off is that you're getting a great work boot. You're getting something you can crawl around on your knees in. You're getting something you can kick stuff all day with, and you're not going to tear through leather or very cheap plastic materials that we see on a lot of different brands. This is a thick piece of rubber, and just by looking at the way it's constructed down below, you can see the thickness of it. I think that the rubber on the toe and the heel is actually thicker than the Vibram rubber that's on the sole. Could be me. I guess I should really put a measuring tool on it and figure that one out, but hey, it just looks that way. All right, so laces and eyelids, all that stuff. Laces, basic Taslan laces, nothing to write home about. Now the eyelids, on the other hand, at the top you get a beautiful speed lace, a metal speed lace, something that is machined out and then riveted into the back of the boot, which is really nice because most of the time, what do we get? We get one single piece rivet on speed laces on boots that are kind of like this. You know, imported boots usually don't look this good unless the company really takes a lot of pride in their imports. This one looks like they took a lot of pride. Whoever the company is that's making these for Duluth Trading, they are making boots for other people and they understand how to make quality work boots because the Grindstone is a quality work boot, to say the least about it. All right, so now we open this thing up and we can see how the eyelids are all put in. Nice backed riveted eyelids, which is something that you look for when there's eyelids. You don't want any little sharp pieces. That means it's never going to tear up your laces. They're never going to fray. They're not pressed through eyelids, so it's nice. Speed lace, like I said, beautiful metal speed lace. But we get to that gusseted tongue, and that brings us to the next step. So now we get to this gusseted tongue, and what does this gusseted tongue tell us? Well, it tells us it's waterproof. And of course, it's a waterproof breathable membrane that's built into this boot. It's called Duluth's Dries. It's their own house brand, and everybody has their own house brand waterproof material today. So it's not that big of a shocker that they made a waterproof breathable boot. But what is a shocker is the way they finished it off, because they finished it off correctly, because it's a bootie and it's built into the boot correctly, which I was not expecting. I was expecting it just to be treated. When I saw the price on it, and I gotta say the thing doesn't break the bank. When I saw the price on it, I thought, okay, so it's just gonna be waterproof treated. Maybe it's got a cheap, knockoff membrane, but no, it's Duluth's Dries and it's a pretty good membrane. And when you really look deep inside the boot and you see the finishing on how it's all finished off inside, though it might not be the most aesthetically pleasing finishing of a boot, because I mean there are some boots when you look inside, they are just pristine when it comes to the craftsmanship inside. This is really built like a work boot. This is built with heavy-duty construction where you want to see heavy-duty construction. This is not a casual boot. This is not a playtime boot, not a hiking boot. This is a work boot, so this is going to have to hold up to very vigorous situations, and Duluth understood that, and that's why they built the boot the way they did. All right, so you saw me pull this thing out, and I am not a fan of pebble insoles. Though this EVA material, it is very soft. You find this in a lot of casual men's boots. You find stuff that's like this. All this tells me is that eventually you're gonna start to feel those little bumps and whatnot, and it's gonna start to telegraph through. I don't like walking along the shores of rocky beaches, and this is what it feels like to me. It's not uncomfortable. In fact, this is probably extremely therapeutic for a lot of people. It's gonna feel like it's those old Adidas sandals that had the massaging nipples in them. I said nipples, yes. That's what it's gonna feel like. I don't like it. I like a nice, flat, smooth surface because I wear, really good socks, so I want my socks to fit. I want my insoles to be soft and cushy. And yeah, so I'm not a fan of this, but you are gonna like it the first time you put these on because you're not gonna feel that when it's coming through. Okay, last but not least, we have to talk about size and fit. And the size and the fit on the Duluth stuff, I gotta say, is pretty much spot on as long as you're used to wearing high-end imported work boots. And let's add another caveat to that, high-end imported safety work boots, because they all seem to be using the same exact last and the same exact sizes. So a 12 medium in this fit just like a 12 medium would fit me in a Timberland, in a Caterpillar, in a Wolverine, or anything else that is made overseas. This fit the exact same way, and it was just as comfortable as any of those high-end brands. The thing that I was really impressed with was the spike in the flexing of the boot, that when you crouched down, when you started to move around on the ground, that the spike puncture plate didn't feel like it was stopping the boot from flexing. It's a very flexible, pliable boot. For as much that goes into the design of keeping this in a safety shoe realm, I was really impressed with the comfort of it. Hey guys, I just want to thank everybody who has clicked the PayPal button below, the Buy Me a Beer button. Thanks a lot, guys. Oh man, thanks again. So that's the Wedgestone from Duluth Trading. Hey guys, if you're currently wearing a pair of these Wedgestones, if you're one of the lucky guys that picked up a pair of these when they first came out, please comment below. Let other guys know what you think about them. Are you happy with it? Did you take them back because you weren't happy with them? Whatever it turns out to be, please comment below and let us know. Hey guys, if you're interested in seeing some detailed photos of this boot, swing by my Instagram, because I took lots of detailed photos that I'm sure you saw in this video, but if you want to see them closer, tighter, and you don't want to have to pause in the middle of a video in order to see a close-up on a boot, subscribe to my Instagram page. There you will find all kinds of detailed photos of this boot. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and subscribers, if you're enjoying my videos, if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, if you've watched all my videos, please think about supporting me by buying me a beer or buying me a cup of coffee. Right down below in the comments box, you will find 2 PayPal buttons that are designated for 2 different beverages. Feel free, click whichever one you want, send me as much money as you want. I do prefer beer, but I will take a cup of coffee because you know what? I'm a coffee drinker. Every morning I have 2 or 3, maybe the whole pot. So, whichever one you choose, please think about supporting the channel. Hey, if you're about to pick up a pair of these Wedgestones or anything from Duluth Trading that you've seen a review on my channel about, feel free to hit me up on Instagram with questions about the product. If you're wondering about size, fit, durability, or longevity of the products, feel free to ask those questions of me on Instagram. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy, doing a review on an awesome boot from Duluth Trading. Thanks a lot for watching.